Thank you so much for joining my Instagram Live. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the most common marketing problems that companies across the globe experience. This is not specifically for small business owners. This is for also large organizations that have teams or small business owners or medium-sized businesses. Hi, Erica. Thanks for joining. And we're going to talk about not just the most common marketing problems, but how to fix them. So I'm going to get straight into it because I know your time is valuable. Traffic and leads. Traffic is basically a word in the marketing world that we use to say a large group or number of people that are visiting your website, clicking your link in bio on your social media profiles, clicking on your emails that you're sending out for campaigns or just educational content, or even people that are finding your store. To all my business owners watching this that have stores or restaurants, or maybe you do business from home and people come and you do curbside drop off, etc. And this is people being able to find you. And the reason why I think a lot of companies have this problem is they're either placing online advertisements on the wrong social media apps, on the wrong platforms. Their content isn't connecting with their existing customers, for their existing customers to feel the need to rebuy or share or follow, etc. And then the leads can also come from referrals. Maybe you're not really nurturing relationships after a customer buys on your website and goes to your store to maintain that familiarity, maintain that trust, and inspire people to share your blog, your post, your email, your vlog, whatever, your flyer, your menu, if you're mailing them out to people, so that you can have organic, you're doing paid ads, but organic traffic and traffic from the paid ads coming through. And it's really hard for me to really do a deep dive specifically of what you're experiencing right now, but I really think the best thing that you want to do with your marketing team or with yourself, if you're solo, self-employed solopreneur, is to sit down and take a look at everything that you're doing. And I probably would say that you want to take a step back after every campaign that you do. What I also notice a lot is some companies simply don't have a strategy, or some companies have a strategy, but the strategy is very weak, especially in a global market like today, where you might be selling the same products and services as other companies, but you're not really giving people a reason to go again back to your website or click that link in bio on Instagram or on TikTok to follow you on other apps or check out your website and actually see what you're doing off of the apps. In today's day and age, I really think it's important to have a marketing scientist cap on, not just pumping out content and putting out there, because that's what happens with some companies. Even some big companies are just putting content out there to put it out there. They're not really thinking very deeply about if this content is resonating with their audience, if they're really using the words and storytelling and having strong first sentence one-liners, whether it's in a social media caption, a blog, or even just speaking in a video and really capturing people's attention within the first 5 seconds. So the first thing, or the first couple of things that I would suggest if you're not getting enough traffic to your website or leads coming in with all the paid advertising or the organic marketing imagery and content that you're putting out, is start looking at the message, start looking at your comments and the feedback that you're getting, and kind of align those with seasons, meaning summer, spring, and fall. Also take a look a little bit, do some more scientific research, and take a look at activity from previous years. So for example, how people reacted to your Christmas ad last year. What are some takeaways that you can learn so you can start promoting your Christmas ads now versus waiting in for October, November, December, which are, depending on if you have customers who have children, if they're getting ready for, now kids are back to school or they're going back to school this or next week, and then Halloween's going to come. So what can you do differently? What are the peaks and bounds, the ups and downs of insights and traffic to your website every 3 months, on certain days of the week, when you put certain videos out versus images, and so on and so forth. So you really have to do a deep dive of your content. If you have the time, take a look and try to figure out what is the issue with the traffic and leads. And if you really want to get some real insights, feel free to survey your audience, your existing customers, or the people that you're targeting, and provide some kind of like a benefit to it, or see if they can provide you with some feedback and tell you what you can do differently. The other issue I noticed too is companies that are competing in a global market. Before the pandemic, we had all the restaurants and the grocery stores, and everything was kind of good, and hospitality and travel and food and beverage and so on and so forth. Other industries I'm probably not naming right now. When the pandemic hit, it totally changed the landscape for the companies that quickly did curbside, or the companies that quickly transitioned to, instead of people coming into their restaurants or the grocery stores, creating a quick online way for people to buy online and pick up literally a box of groceries, or the grocery stores that just went delivery only after a while, right? And I'll give you a good example. In my city, we have a organic store called Planet Organic. And when Planet Organic opened in my city, they had about 3 locations, one downtown, one in the south side, and another one in the north side, if I can recall. And all of those organic stores got wiped out. And here's the reason why. Not because I know somebody that owns a Planet Organic, or I've talked to the cashiers, but I pay attention to everything that's going on in my city, naturally as a marketer. But that's the same thing that you should be doing as a business owner, is naturally gazing the online and the offline realm of what you're doing. So back to the organic grocery store story of these 3 locations getting wiped out. So what happened before the pandemic is Planet Organic open. A lot of people, including myself, were excited. I'd go every week. That was my spot. And if I couldn't find what I needed in that organic store, I'd go to one of the bigger stores and buy from there and see if they had something in their organic section or not. And as a result, when these stores open up, I do believe that it took maybe about 15 to 25% of the non-organic grocery stores' target audience. And so what did those big grocery stores, the No Frills and the Loblaws or the President's Choice or the Safeways, all my Western Canada or my Canadians, if you know these locations, are the Save on Food grocery stores. What did they do? They literally, hey, thanks for joining. They literally started selling organic grocery stores in the bigger grocery stores, and it wiped out the 3 Planet Organic locations in my city. So as a result, always pay attention to your competitors, not just the ones on Instagram, the ones in your neighborhood. Go into your store. Don't tell them you own a business like theirs. Go into their store. Take a look at their customer service. Take a look at their product placement. Are they playing music? Are they giving away sample food? What are they doing that's different than your store? And you can also check out online. Just do a Google search. Let's take, for example, you sell baby clothing. So baby clothing, your city, and take a look at the local people that are selling what you're doing. Look at their website. Are their websites easier to use compared to yours? Is their shopping experience easier than yours? These are all the things that your marketing team or you as a business owner should be looking at, especially in the process of trying to compete in a global market. And if you think you're not competing with the global market, there will be someone that will come from a different country, move to your city, come up with the same idea and sell what you're selling at a fraction of the cost, because the world is that competitive these days. And so that's another reason why a lot of people kind of fall short with their marketing and branding, is they're not understanding that you have to compete with a global audience. Even if you have a product that is not sold in your country, best believe if your product does very well, there will be somebody who will pick up that product and they will start selling it. So think about that. Another marketing mistake that I notice, this happens with the smaller to medium-sized businesses, but it can happen with a big organization too, especially if there's a lot of products being launched and marketing is working with communications and communications is working with the public relations team, and then they're all working with third-party agencies to get things done, is not having a strategy. And when I say not having a strategy, I'm saying maybe you're just waking up on the fly and you're posting. You're taking photos of events and festivals that you go to or new shipments, but you're not really writing down or typing out a real clear strategy that shows, how long in advance or how far in advance are you going to start marketing your new product? How far in advance are you going to start letting people know that you're doing different services, you're changing them up? And really having a strategy down to having a marketing calendar and having separate calendars for different campaigns or similar. I would actually use the same calendar for your campaign so you don't overlap something. And really getting into the insights of looking at the back end of your social media, your email marketing tools, your CRM, that's just a tech word for customer relationship management software. Even your accounting software can really, really help you put together what's working with your marketing and what's not. If sales are going up or if they're plummeting and going down, which products maybe you need to die out and put those products in the back shelf and maybe sell them off this season at 75% off or something, so that you can bring in an entirely new product because your target audience is quickly changing. So make sure that you have a strategy. Even if you're a solopreneur, you're self-employed and you're running your business alone, always make sure to have a strategy written out, probably more virtually, and be specific about what you're going to focus on versus on the fly. And that should definitely help. Now, everyone who's watching this, if you're new to my page, click the follow button. And if you have any questions about marketing issues that you're going through, send me a DM, send me a message, send an email, click link in bio, and reach out to me, and I'll see if I can help. Now, no buyer persona is another one. So a buyer persona is basically writing out the typical different groups of customers that typically buy from you. That goes from their living situation, their mindset, where they are in life, what they do in their free time, what they expect from you as a company, what they expect from your products and services. And this is really important because when you have a buyer persona written out and you have different groups in the buyer persona based on who buys from you, your content can be written based on, hi, thanks for joining. Your content can be written based on your buyer persona. And a buyer persona, it can be a paragraph just describing the typical customer that buys from you. Like, let's take, for example, your typical buyer might be a family that has no more than 2 children. They're in a stage in their life where they're making, let's say, $200,000 between the husband and the wife, and they're looking for a company like yours to buy regularly from. They're expecting great customer service. They have issues with other companies like yours in town, and that's why they buy from you. So a buyer persona is just writing out the specific types of customers that buy from you. That way, when you're writing your language and your captions, or you're speaking on a live stream like this, you can speak as if you're speaking to them because you know the buyer personality based on who typically buys from you. And the last reason why a lot of companies across the globe, there's no discrimination here. Small businesses, medium, big organizations, I've worked with many, all of them had a problem and I had to help them. So not adapting to new trends. So let's take, for example, last summer is when TikTok kind of piloted. It became super successful. And I was telling everybody, jump on TikTok. So I'm noticing a lot of the people are now, that at least here on Instagram, a lot of them are now jumping on TikTok, but that's a year out. And there's nothing wrong with that. The algorithm is still good. There's an opportunity for your content to trend and go viral. But when you hear marketers like myself and others that you follow, and they're telling you, jump on LinkedIn, jump on TikTok, start doing YouTube shorts, we're not really telling you this because we want you to do whatever we say. We're telling you this because we are in the trenches. We're using these apps and we're seeing business owners flood TikTok. I remember last summer, there were a good number of business owners on TikTok. Now, every time I look on my timeline on TikTok, it's business owner after business owner. So imagine how things would have been if people jumped on the bandwagon last summer. Not that it matters because opportunities are always abundant, but try to adapt to new trends, and not just with social media. If you're noticing you're following your competitors and you're noticing that more of them are doing videos, and you're seeing a lot of more comments, a lot of more likes, and you're seeing that their videos are doing good, maybe it's a sign for you to switch to videos. Get off of the photos, maybe do a couple of photos a week, but maybe it's time for you to start doing more videos and getting more candid with your audience. If you're noticing that your competitors are going live once a week or several times a week, maybe it's time for you to do the same thing. And you don't necessarily have to follow competitors, but it can just be as easy as, checking out my page or doing a Google search on marketing trends in my industry and seeing what Forbes magazine is saying, what Business Insider is saying, because these are usually the business magazines or in your industry, or the ones that are usually going to tell you what's about to come out 3 to 6 months in advance. So why not jump on it before everybody else does? And so I'll just do a quick summary. The top marketing problems that I see globally are companies not being able to get traffic and leads to their website, to, their YouTube page, or et cetera, competing in a global market. Now that a lot of things are shutting down and some of your favorite stores and stuff are now going e-commerce, and they're really spending a lot of marketing spend on their websites now. It's time to get in the game of thinking international versus just locally. Companies sometimes don't often have a strategy, and I see this quite often with small businesses, people that don't have employees. I also see this with medium businesses where they're just kind of going off the fly and, let's just take a photo and just throw it on the Instagram. And that can work, but if you have something that's scheduled out a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month in advance, that can really free up your time. And then you can actually watch the conversations, take a look at your insights, and kind of gauge how people are reacting to your content before you just kind of take a photo and run with it. No buyer persona. And that's basically not understanding the specifics about your audience and not really writing down or typing out a full description of the typical person that buys from you, because when you understand what they're going through, where they are in life, you can start writing out your captions and you can start writing out your blogs, or even doing your own narration in your videos as if you're speaking to them. And then the last but not least, not adapting to new trends, not jumping on new social apps, not using vlogging versus blogging, or not maybe even getting out in your city now that the summer is coming to a close, and maybe going to that festival, even if you have to pay $200, $300 a booth just to be there, because people want to kind of spend some more time outside before hopefully there's another shutdown as far as the quarantine is concerned. So that's it for a nutshell. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. Hi, thanks for joining. Talk about any questions you have, even though this is the last part of the presentation. If you're experiencing any issues, if you have any questions about any of the content that I've been sharing, let me know. I'll stay here for a good 5 or 10 minutes and kind of go over some problem solving with you. It's a new day in marketing. There's so much that you can do. Unlike before the pandemic, you don't have to necessarily look perfect, and you don't have to feel too nervous about what people are expecting. And you can also open up with your audience and share your stories, share your pandemic story. I try to a few times a week kind of make it personal, but I'm really using my social media page as a library. So try to, even if you're in retail, maybe you can start doing things like what to wear for the weekend. I find Facebook ads don't seem to work. Wow, Facebook ads. You know what does work though? Facebook groups. And I can say that for myself. If you can find a Facebook group of moms or, I don't know, millennials that love fashion or something like that, and you start posting some sales stuff, but then post some educational stuff, for example, what to wear for your wedding anniversary, or what to wear for, I don't know, what to wear during lockdown to make it spicy in your marriage. And you kind of post like educational stuff in Facebook groups, I can guarantee that you're going to start getting DMs. I've been doing that. I've been using Facebook groups for business for the past 3 months. And I get dozens of messages over that period of people who are like, I saw your post in the group. What kind of services do you offer? So if you're not confident with the ads, try getting into Facebook groups of people that will buy from you, and not people that sell apparel, but moms, like soccer moms or blog moms or vlogging moms or, dads. I don't know. I'm trying to think about what your potential buyer personality would look like, but try to think about your buyer personality and jump in on those Facebook groups, as long as they allow you to post like educational content and some sales content too, to drive traffic back to your site. And it takes a few seconds or a few minutes every morning. I have about 6 different Facebook groups I'm in, and I post the same thing in each group, and then I log off of the app and I move on with my day, and it's really, really helpful. Anything else? Facebook, actually, according to the stats, they're saying that Facebook is the best app to get customers, and then I think after that it's Instagram. Some people say it's Facebook, then LinkedIn. Other blogs say Facebook and then Instagram. TikTok seems to be pretty fun. I've seen some people on the time. I don't know anybody personally that's making money off of TikTok, but I see people on my timeline claim that they're selling out products and services because they're showing up on TikTok every day. I can't claim anything if those are true. I don't know. But I know that TikTok, if you sell apparel, it's a great place to really just put a music in the background and show your products, and you'd be surprised how many people will buy. There's this TikTok trend called TikTok made me buy it, and people do buy things from TikTok. TikTok to me is like the new Instagram. I used to buy things on Instagram a lot. I stopped, and I think TikTok is inspiring me to kind of buy things these days. But Facebook, or just blog on a website? Oh, do you think landing pages are best for articles, or just blog on the website? That's a good question. If you're going to do, hey, thanks for joining. If you're going to do a landing page, make sure obviously it goes back to your website. That way on the top or the bottom, people can see contact and they can contact you. I think both will work, really. There are a big group of people that do love reading still. And that's usually like the baby boomer group and millennials as well. Generation Z like reading too. They're like keyboard warriors, I call them, because they can find anything to these young teenagers, right? But yeah, I think both work, just as long as it goes back to your website. And if it's going to be on medium.com or like a third-party website, just make sure that somewhere in that piece of content, you're telling people, click here to check it out, or click here for the discount or something like that, because people can get lost in a frenzy if you're using some of these third-party blogging platforms, and it might not lead back to your website. My customer group is typically 45 to 70. Okay, so with that kind of an age group, I think Facebook, definitely don't give up on Facebook. You're in the right place. LinkedIn, that age group is definitely spending a lot of time there. With that age group, I think I see a good portion of them on TikTok, but it's really up to you. If you're okay with just using TikTok for the branding aspect and taking those videos and putting it on Instagram, you're more than welcome to do that. But don't get too excited. I think for that age group, you definitely want to be on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and stay on Instagram. And of course, do the blogs and articles, because that age group, they like social media too, but they're not really convinced. They have to read something as well. So I think it sounds like you're on the same page as me. If I were to provide some coaching, I would tell you to do some blogging, do some articles, make sure you have some emails that are going back to those blogs. Nothing wrong with promoting a blog or an article on Instagram. I used to do it. I don't do blogs as much anymore because I'm more into like the video stuff now, but nothing wrong with taking a screenshot, and you're welcome. It's nothing wrong with taking a screenshot and sharing it on your Instagram and telling people click link in bio to read my new article. Or even doing an email campaign where every time a blog comes out, you send your existing customers and potential customers an email, and it goes back to your website. So I'll stay here for a little while if anybody has any questions, but that's it for the most part for the top marketing issues. We all go through issues with marketing. Consumer behavior is quickly changing. Now people are being concerned now, are we going to go into another lockdown? And what will happen if in the winter or the fall, people will spend more time on apps. So if you can spend a little bit more time on apps, just going live. If you're nervous to share your face, maybe you can just go live and have the camera, in your store on the clothing rack, or have some models, do a fashion show. Like there's so much that we can do now. And there's still a lot that you could do out in your city. I've gone to a couple of festivals this year where people I follow on Instagram set up booths at festivals and are marketing their products and services and getting their name out there organically in the city. So yeah, don't see any other questions, but I go live every Friday at the same time, 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually check my insights to see which is the best performing post to figure out what I'm going to share the following Friday. And I have some new content coming soon. I'm trying to make it fun and exciting and appealing and to inspire you, and just to share a bit about myself, because sometimes people call me the marketing machine and I often feel like an object instead of a human. So every once in a while I'll share something new. And if you have any other questions, send me a DM. I do not charge for people to ask questions in the DMs. I'm here to answer a question and help you out. But thank you, friends. I kind of like to treat the end near like TikTok when I go live. So I'll do some shout outs here. Thank you, Friends Leggings Apparel. Thanks for joining me today with your questions and the feedback. I really appreciated that. Thanks for joining Shop Jerome G. Sorry if I butchered that name. Arrington, Alicia, thanks for joining. Erica, Laura, thanks for joining. And have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you next Friday if you're able to join. Take care. Bye.